Hello everyone, happy 4th of July. Here is another request. This one again is from Hunter Coleman. Anytime you guys ask for anything Southern Pacific, I will be all over it. That is my favorite railroad. Well, it and Santa Fe. And be a toss-up on at least motive power, what I have more of. More than likely it's probably Santa Fe, but we're within one or two locomotives. So anyway, this isn't too fancy of a model, but what's interesting about it, this is not an MTH Rail King scale Alco Century 630. This is in Weaver. Weaver had these in probably the mid-90s, and yes, this is the tooling. MTH did acquire this tooling, so MTH's C-628s and C-630s came from these. See how ambidextrous I can be here. Flip this guy over, and let's see how our light's going to work. Weaver. So yeah, this isn't, no sound system or anything in this, but it's an extremely good puller, and as a lot of you guys know, at least in the O-gauge market, the Southern Pacific with the bloody nose scheme, not too common. This was a real locomotive, really existed, one of the reasons I have it. I do like it. Like I said, not a whole lot of detail to it, but it runs really good, and it's a good size. You can see in the background there, compared to an SD9, it's a little bit longer there. Like I said, this is an Alco C-630. That's Century Series, and then 6 stands for 6-axle, 30 stands for 3,000 horsepower. Alco made it a little easier to identify their locomotives. The Century Series was pretty much their last hurrah in the locomotive market. Didn't sell a whole lot. I don't know the whole. I don't know the exact production numbers. There was the C-628 is what the first of the 6-axle. This one there was a C-636. But, I don't know. I've always preferred Alcos. To me, it just looks like, and if you look at my collection on the whole, I'm really into the oddball diesels. I like Baldwins, I like Fairbanks Morse, I like Alco. You know, they tried harder, in my opinion. I mean, with styling and everything. No see-through grills or anything like that. And we are up in the attic. It's actually only about 95 degrees up here today, so we can actually come up here and run something. But, as with all Weaver diesels, these things run super smooth, super reliable. They use the exact same traction tires as MTH diesels. That part number is DE-18. And that'll pretty much fit any MTH scale diesel. But let's fire this one. Like I said, no sound system, but we can make this guy move around the layout here. We got directional lighting, although it's quite dim, but it is there. These have straight cut gears. That's what that little grinding is that you hear. My C-628s from Weaver do the same thing. They all make that kind of noise. There's nothing wrong. But you can see that light there. And oh yeah, it does have a horn, and be prepared to be blown away by prototypical accuracy. Here we go. Oh my God, is that real? But anywho, let's go get a train here since we actually got the big room today. So and these guys will these Weaver diesels will pull like you wouldn't believe. Like I've said in previous videos, I've always been a Williams and a Weaver guy. I just like their stuff. Oh, here I can show you. Look at the massive amount of volts and amperage it takes to pull that train. We'll slow it down on the next one. I can show you these guys can crawl pretty good. And you know, these are typical of the time. You know, twin can motors, the China drive, as everybody talks about it. One blind wheel on the axles there, so they're 8-wheel drive. Over here, I'll slow it down so you can get a view. But these guys will crawl, and they'll crawl pretty smoothly. You know, hold on here. Slow them down even more. That is 7.5 volts. But yeah, they will crank along just fine, and they will also run all day. This Weaver stuff, it was like the early MTH. It is Korean built, so I'm assuming Samhongsa, because I think Samhongsa was the first of the Korean manufacturers to get into the plastic market. I'm not 100% correct. I'm sure there's guys out there that can. Warden Entertainment, I'm asking you. But, yeah, this isn't the fanciest engine in the world, but it's just something I like it because in the O-gauge market, we don't have a lot of the scarlet and gray. You know, Lionel's made a few, like GE U-boats, and that's just not a locomotive I like. I don't want any of those, like a U-33C or anything like that. The only U-boat I like was the first one, and we'll scan over here. That's also a Weaver GE U-25B. But this is ultra rare because this is non-powered. I found that at a train show, along with the locomotive that's running. And then here's another one that's kind of cool here. This is a Southern Pacific. This is also a Weaver. That's an RSD-12. That's one you really don't see. But this guy coming around the bend here, this one too I found at a train show, and it was years ago. I honestly don't remember what I paid for it. Probably a heck of a lot more than what you would pay now. But once again, it's still running. So I don't complain too much. Yeah, these early Weaver and MTH diesels are very similar, so they were coming out of the same factory. You know, MTH obviously invested a lot more in tooling, because look at all the different models they had. But the Weaver ones, I liked them because they were doing more obscure diesels. You know, I know one of the ones they had was the SD40-2 or the E8, but you know, they did RS3s before anybody else did. They were the first ones to do an RS11 and an RSD12. They were the first one to do a U25B. And I know MTH has a U25B, and that is their own tooling. That is not the old Weaver tooling. I had somebody very prominent in our hobby tell me that, and I believed him, Eric Strains. But, yeah, I always... I don't know, when I was buying stuff new, I can't describe this. Someday I'll do like a side-by-side comparison. You know, the last new Lionel diesel I bought was a SD40T-2, and then the one before that was one of the first runs of the Lionel GP30s. And if you pick both of those up, just the quality difference, it's hard to describe. But my point is, when you take these older Weaver and older MTH Proto 1 engines that were made in Korea, and then hold one from China, you know, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Chinese manufacturing. You'll see what I mean. There's a big difference. They just don't feel the same. It doesn't have the heft. It doesn't have the thick quality feel to it. The detail is much better. But it's just, it's weird. But then there's other manufacturers who have very good luck with China. Whoever Atlas uses is absolutely awesome. I have a couple of their master locomotives, and they are very well built. And then, sorry, this thing here, this was probably the last diesel I bought, brand new. That's a Atlas Trainman RSD 15. And this thing is probably my favorite diesel I own. This thing runs great. It's got super good detail considering it was, you know, a budget buy back then. This guy's conventional, and I paid under $200 for it, brand new. And I'm sure it's the same tooling they're using now. But anyway, if you guys are ever looking for a good deal, check out Atlas Trainman. You'll be pleasantly surprised. But anyway, back on track here. So yeah, not much else to say about this guy. Like I said, I really enjoy it just because I have a couple of C-628s in the Santa Fe paint scheme, and you do see those pop up quite a bit. You do not see these guys pop up a whole lot. You really don't. So I saw one on trains a while back. Might still be there, and I think it was new in box, but it was a little bit more than what I would pay for one, because it was like this, no sound, nothing like that. But anyway, I hope everybody has a good 4th of July. And oh, before we go, might as well do some more uber prototypical honking here. All right, guys, take care. Thanks for watching.